And yes, we have the Rocket team. Rocket Man! From Keota High School. Levi Lyle is the teacher. You have some rockets with you.
You're like, here, get the props out, hurry.
But yeah, we've got props, we've got rockets, but grab this microphone here. It's all right. We're not in any big rush.
Good morning. Good to see you today.
Hey, good to have you.
Doing today? Who we got? You guys share the microphone in between you, but don't be afraid of the microphone. So introduce yourselves while Levi gets things set up. We'll start with you.
I'm Elyse Lyle, in 10th grade.
Elyse Lyle. Who we got here?
Stephen Bird, 10th grade.
Stephen Bird is in the comments earlier saying he was going to be here in a minute. Now I know who Stephen Bird is.
Oh. Yeah, I see that too, Stephen. You scared me.
And we got Levi Lyle. Elyse, while they're doing this, why don't you do the honors of saying why you're here and what's going on?
So we launched a rocket about 2 weeks ago, and it made the American National Rocketry competition.
Wow,
I think it's called.
Yes, I posted the story on the Steve Shettler Media Facebook page. Oh, your rocket's about to bloop down.
Yeah.
Bloop. It's blooping down. And you guys are going to the Nationals. Levi, maybe explain a little bit more about what's going on here. Pull that microphone on over to you.
There's a competition called the American Rocketry Challenge.
Yeah.
It's been going on since the early 2000s, and so more than 1,000 schools from around the country compete in the American Rocketry Challenge. It's sponsored by the National Association of Rocketry.
Okay.
And so there are specifications in this rocket launch. Do you guys want to talk about the specifications of what it is we're attempting to do and
Yes, they do.
how
You can see
we
it.
are judged? Go ahead.
You can see
Don't
it.
make us
I told
talk.
them that I wasn't going to talk.
Okay.
All right, Elyse, the pressure's on.
So you try to launch it about 36 to 39 feet, and then every foot you're off, you'll get a penalty point.
Okay.
And then,
So you don't want to be under and you don't want to be above that?
oh wait, no, that's how many seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then you get a penalty point if it's above or below. And then it's 750 feet that you have to launch it to, and then you also get a penalty point for every foot that it's off.
Okay. So you have to be kind of in those measurements there.
Yes.
Kind of like the astronauts don't want to be too far off when they're landing back here on Earth after being in space. Were you guys, all right, let's sidetrack. Let's follow that squirrel. Were you guys pretty interested in the whole Artemis 2 thing?
Thank you.
Well,
I'm okay. Go on.
Elyse was
Explain.
kind of.
Elyse, I'm with you now.
Stephen is shaking his head. Yes. Stephen, are you interested in like NASA and that type of stuff?
Yes, I am.
All right. And yeah, but Neil over here.
I don't know. No.
I was very
Neil
interested.
is a non-believer. Well,
Oh,
Neil
yeah.
doesn't believe we have landed on the moon yet. He's weird.
There's a lot of stuff going against it. I'm just.
Anyway,
Somebody's got to be that person in the room, okay?
It's important to always have a critical eye for what's happening out there. I think that one of the lessons today that we want our young people to understand is to gather information for themselves, to consider the sources of that information. And more and more, I guess, people have less faith in those traditional forms of communication. You know, I think people have more put more merit in this source of communication because they know and trust this local source of news versus what they're getting from some other source, and that's a really it's a really complex aspect of the modern world that people, when I was growing up, we didn't give a second thought to.
yeah.
You know,
By the way, I'm just noticing Stephen's hat. He's got the Kennedy Space Center hat on. Have you visited Kennedy Space Center?
Yep.
Awesome.
Right now, you're not liking me, are you? You're like, hater.
I was very interested to hear students have enthusiasm for the Artemis 2 launch because when we were growing up, there were pretty routine launches. This space shuttle, I believe, is retired, so they no longer fly a space shuttle like this, but like the Artemis 2 looked like this and had the capsule at the top with the astronauts in it that could separate. And students today haven't really experienced that excitement, and so they were really excited to.
And you're right. I mean, it
see
was
the launch.
almost a common thing. Like, it wasn't as exciting every time.
It became not a big deal
Yeah.
when we launched into space.
Right.
It was like,
Yeah, oh, another one, and then it's all these years later, and here we are again.
But let's
So,
stay on track.
yeah.
You guys are going to Washington, D.C., correct?
Well, so the time of the launch of that national competition is May 17th. That is a complicated time for me to be away as a farmer.
Okay.
My daughter that's a senior is graduating. Graduation is
yeah.
that week. So with a lot going on, we decided not to pursue going to the competition.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But we've got qualifying under our belt, and we're excited to have achieved that goal.
Well, that's
So yeah, we'll see what the future holds.
So, as a kid, I loved building rockets. And I don't know if these rockets are anything like what I was building when I was a kid. They had the engines, I would call them, but they were just a little cardboard deal that you pop in there. Are these exact same as they've always been, or what ignites them? How do they fly?
They're really the same. It's like
Okay.
this is smaller than the one that we use.
Okay. But yeah, they look almost identical to, okay. How do you get these things? Because as a kid, I remember launching those. I was just happy when it went up, but now you're talking about exact like heights and seconds and everything. How aren't you just putting the trust in that engine, or is there ways to, make that better?
Well, we just went to Hobby Lobby and grabbed a couple engines. We didn't really use the F engine, which we were planning on using because it would have went too high. We did end up using it, and that's why it's kind of destroyed because it was way too strong. But we only used an E12 motor because our rocket is so light that it didn't need a stronger motor to go that high.
Huh.
Cool. Lyle, or Levi, you were holding up your little space shuttle.
Yeah.
Is this something from your...
Actually, thanks for asking, Steve. So when I grew up, I went to Keota High School, and rocketry was an exciting part of my high school experience. I continued doing things in rocketry in my years of teaching because my degree was in science education. I taught a couple years of high school science after college, and rocketry was something that I brought into my classrooms then. But our former teacher at Keota High School, Mike Williams, had a long career at Keota, and so students for 3 decades launched rockets each year in high school, and it was just a really cool experience that all Keota students can relate to, having that experience. And so some of this rocket actually is from his era, and it was a rocket, and it's launchable. So it was
launchable.
in the it was one that they had launched, and so these examples are among the archive of rocketry supplies that we have. And so these 2 rockets are test rockets that we used as we were assessing engines, and the students were just getting a hang of how to make adjustments on the rockets, how to pack the parachutes, because you got to pack them a certain way. This is an example of a parachute that I'll let these guys kind of hold this up.
It looks like it's
had a
been
burn
used.
through. Yeah, so this one fell to earth a little quickly. But if you don't do everything right, there's a certain way to pack it, a certain way to fold it, and you got to do it a certain or you won't succeed.
Did you ever play with rockets as a kid?
I think I actually had when I was in 4-H for a few years, one of my projects was a rocket. So, and it was one of those where you kind of had the wire, or not wire. Well, yeah, it would have been a wire thing that it was kind of attached to. And
For the launch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember having very much success with it, but
Really?
I remember what it looked. I mean, it was like a red, white, and blue, like that type of middle, the one in the middle there. So yeah,
See, I'll be
my
honest.
dad and I did that.
It was one of those things that I almost, looking back, I never talked about my days with my rockets because I thought maybe people would think I was a nerd. But this is so cool that it is an actual. I thought I was like the only person that ever had played with a rocket.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Because not all your friends are doing it, and it was just this is really
So
cool
you were
to me.
a secret
nerd. Yes, I was.
Those stories about the early rocket program of the 1950s are are so inspiring. That story, Rocket Boys, about the young boy out in the coal mining region of the U.S., grew up passionate about rockets and went through that learning process and access to the adults around him for resources. Ultimately, he ended up being a NASA engineer, and so I mean that movie predates these guys' birth. Sure. But to me, that was just fundamental, and the excitement of being a kid and exploring the possibilities. You guys, cool. How about you talk through the components of this rocket? Because once it leaves the ground, there's multiple things that happen to parachute that egg back down to safety. And I don't know if we mentioned that, but there's an egg on board for this competition.
Like an actual egg?
Yeah, you have to parachute an egg to safety. And then she mentioned the 36 seconds. It has to land as close to 36 seconds as possible. So from launch to landing, could you guys talk through what happens with this rocket? And then you could take that top off and show the egg compartment.
Sure. Okay, so obviously the engine launches it, and then at the peak there's a blast of air that kind of shoots this off, and then the parachute will come out of there, and basically it'll come down in about 2 pieces. At one point it didn't come out on the 10th grade rocket, and our body was destroyed, so we kind of combined both the 9th grade team and the 10th grade team for like the final rocket. This nose cone is 10th grade, and then the rest is 9th grade.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then this is the altimeter, which tells you your altitude.
Oh.
And so that's how we can get an accurate measurement.
Official
my rockets didn't have that.
Yeah. And then this is the old school way of taking the altitude. So how far away did you stand? I think you were in the group
150 feet.
Okay. So you stand a distance away and you measure at the peak where it is through the scope. And then you do a calculation in the old days, like like you guys understand, and then you come up through that formula.
That's right. We're old.
With that formula, then you get your altitude, right? Like the kids these days take for granted the electronics and how it wasn't always just right there available for you.
That's cool. That's
Very
super
cool. Yeah, I don't remember anything like this being offered this type of thing being part of class.
It's probably one of those weird little niches you guys had over there, because like you said, of the teacher, and that's super cool that you guys you grew up with it. That's super neat.
Next year you could have the Steve Shettler Media satellite launched into space. We can come over and video it and stuff.
Sweet. Yeah, do a live show right there.
I get to stay in
put some stickers on it.
Yep. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. And what class, or is this part of an official class at school? What class are we talking about?
This is science class, 9th and 10th grade.
Okay, all right, awesome.
That's gotta make science class fun to go to. You keep rolling your eyes like it's okay. You love it and you know it. You can tell you're like, I don't want to admit it, but I really enjoy this.
So I don't know if the audience has made the connection that Elyse is my daughter. So that's part of the hesitation to act excited. Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything else that we missed that you guys want to go over? All right.
I would just like to acknowledge the team effort that something like this requires. Number one, the 9th graders were also involved. Stephen and Elyse are both 10th graders, but the 9th graders played a large role. And as Elyse said, we ended up using the body of the 9th grade rocket in the official launch that made it to the Nationals. So many people coming together to make this happen. Sure. And I made a theme of being an underdog a part of this, and so I was showing the kids clips of the movie Armageddon, and you have these people from all walks of life who came together for, again, predating them,
right?
But all walks of life that come together with a common goal and achieving far more than anybody believes that they can achieve. And so we were watching clips of Armageddon each day to kind of get us started and inspire them.
You're a musician. Did you sing Don't Want to Miss a Thing while you were presenting?
I had some requests for that. I had some requests, yeah.
And at that point, you guys were like, "Ugh, what is this?"
I'm more of the all my bags are packed. I'm
Oh, yeah,
ready to
definitely.
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Fun stuff. Well, this has been interesting and informative and educational.
Is this something that's going to continue in your program? That's cool.
I'd like to see that.
That's
continue,
awesome.
yes.
Well, yeah, we got the
very
Steve Shettler
cool.
Media rocket next year, so
Yeah.
it's got to
So
continue.
hopefully it does. Yeah.
One of the things that we learned shortly after qualifying is that we have the community support. Like if we sought to go to nationals, there's no question that the resources in our communities, and you guys know that how
Nice.
we've seen that in both Keota and Sigourney and the area, that when students are set their minds on something, like the communities aren't going to let financing
Yeah.
be the obstacle. So it's great just to see that support from our school board and our community, to know that they're behind us in anything that the kids want to dream of.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Well, guys, we appreciate you coming over this morning from Keota. We look forward to maybe seeing this again next year, and we'll have to do this again. But Levi Lyle, Stephen Bird, and Elyse Lyle hanging out with us this morning from Keota High School and the science class. What would you call it? The rocket program?
The rocket program. Sure, yeah. We better get back to school.
Yes, you
'cause
guys
we're
have to
out.
be going to school. And we've got another guest lined up as well. So we'll hear from some of our sponsors and come back with more after this.
Step inside.